Awesome. Well, Evan, thanks so much for saying yes to this call. I'll share with our viewers here, whether live or watching the replay. I am a shareholder of NexTech. Many of my students are shareholders. All of my family are shareholders. And we originally got the shares from the spinoff from Future Farms.
Yeah.
And I've always said NexTech was the best thing that happened to me as a Future Farm shareholder. It hasn't been pretty, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, yeah.
Oh, man. So last week, Evan, was the last week or the week before? Recently, it's been the last couple of weeks. Evan's company was under a short attack. And what that means is his U.S. shares were a false report. I guess it's fair to say it's a false report, right, Evan?
Yeah, I call it the short and distort attack by, the Hindenburg, which is really, this 35-year-old guy by the name of Nathan. And so, he has a capitalist business model where he shorts a company's stock. In this case, he chose NexTech because our stock was performing very, very, very well. Took a short position and then came out with a distorted report with lots of inaccuracies, misrepresentations, just, out and out lies and, lots of misinformation and misleading information. And so, yeah, he created a lot of drama.
That's a good way to put it. So for those of you who aren't familiar with shorting, essentially what it means is he is set to make a lot of money when the stock price goes down. So right. He was short the stock. He put out that report, and Evan put out a remarkable rebuttal via YouTube. And I watch is like an hour long. I watched the entire thing, and my level of respect for you grew 100-fold. I really liked how you, as a CEO of a company, came back. Almost bullet for bullet, based on what that report said, and you gave such clarity around it. So I reached out to him. Evan, at the end of the call, Evan says to this guy, "Hey, here's my phone number. You can contact me." And I said, I just could not call him. So I pick up the phone and call him. Super, super great person. You were so kind on the phone, and you weren't like, "Well, who are you and what do you want?" You were. We had a really good conversation, and I thought about that. And we have students all over the world in our program, and I like to introduce them to really top quality people and companies. And your company, NexTech, I believe you are situated for the next big thing in the marketplace when it comes to technology. And Evan, I'm going to just let you take it away. You tell us, why your company and why now?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for reaching out to me, and thank you for being real. And, there's a lot of pretenders in this world, and you're not one of them. You're the real deal. I'm also the real deal, and NexTech's the real deal. Yeah. And so, real people, we kind of vibe together really well. You and I just kind of flowed. We had like an hour-long conversation on our first call, which is, unusual. And so, here we are doing this interview, talking about augmented reality and NexTech in particular. So, the story is that, I founded this company. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and in 2017, I was introduced to augmented reality in my chocolate factory shop. The Hampton Chocolate Factory is kind of a hobby business, family business of mine. It's seasonal. So, in the summertime, if you want to find me on the weekends, you'll find me there working with my two sons. And so, we have a blast all summer long, dipping ice cream in pure chocolate. And, I like to say that customers come in happy and they leave even happier, nice. Which is, unique and rare. and that's why I do it, is that, people really enjoy that experience, and it's very high end, and, all the best ingredients, all natural, organic, and on and on. And so I was introduced by one of my customers to augmented reality. I had thought I had seen everything. I was, kind of not expecting to be so impressed with the technology, and it just kind of blew me away. And I realized that we were on the verge of the fourth transformation. As I started to do more research, I started to become more and more convinced that this was going to be the next big thing. And that is one of my talents, finding the next big wave. I was there at the beginning when the cannabis craze hit. If you go back, I could go back. My track record of finding the next hot trend is pretty amazing. I invented the first LED light up toy back in the 1990s that turned into a big business. By the way, the short Mr. Nathan tried to use that as a negative. I think he was in junior high school when I was building that business. So he really has no reference point. And, just to put an even finer point on it, when I started my career on Wall Street, Nathan was having his diapers changed by his mom. Like, that's how big a difference there is between our lives and perspective and experience.
That does put it in perspective. You're absolutely right.
And so back to NexTech, in 2018, I founded the company. I raised a couple of $1 million. My friends have followed me through thick and thin, as their fearless leader, as somebody who's been able to capitalize over decades on trends. I've made them a lot of money, and so they invested in NexTech when we were just getting started in Q1 of 2018, and then we spent 2018 working our way to the public markets and also bringing our first product to market, which we did in the fourth quarter of 2018. We went public, and we also launched our first app. And as 2019 started to unfold, I realized that the app wasn't really where it's at, and that we needed to pivot hard towards web AR. And so I tasked my code cracker with cracking the code on web AR, and he did it. And that's what he does. He cracks the code, right? So all of a sudden, we now have a way to bring AR experiences to everybody, not just people that would download our app, but the installed base of 4 billion devices. Huge game changer for us. And so we spent 2019 pushing that tech to the market, signing up early adopters, and really building our tech stack and building our company. We also made a couple of acquisitions in early 2019. I decided, the industry's so new, there really is no 800-pound gorilla. There really is no path to follow. And so we were beating our own path kind of in the jungle, in the wild. And I decided, we needed to acquire some e-commerce businesses that we can own, use as our own sandbox to test our technology in, and really understand the customer journey using augmented reality. So we acquired vacuumcleanermarket.com, and we acquired infinitepetlife.com. And so we have two very fast-growing, revenue-generating e-commerce businesses. By the way, we don't import any product from China, so we don't have no disruption with coronavirus. So those businesses are being managed by a new management team that I hired, and they are scaling rapidly. Technology that we've built into those businesses, the augmented reality, the 3D product views. You could go on the site and see a vacuum cleaner in 3D. We're working on creating more and more experiences. They've given us a wealth of information. We get real-time data and analytics from those businesses. Right now, we're using our 3D ad network to market 3D, to run ads basically for those businesses, right? Those are e-com businesses. We have 3D ads running on our new 3D AR ad network, and it's driving traffic, and we're able to analyze that and use it again as a test case. So super great move that we acquired those businesses. When we first acquired them, it was not as clear, but now it's a year gone by, and it's crystal clear that those were fantastic acquisitions for us. They provide us not only with use cases but also with cash flow.
Evan,
We're a startup.
Let's double click on that, because that's a really important point. And
Yep.
it's also what separates you from so many other companies out there.
Yep.
You're not out doing secondary offerings and diluting shareholders.
Right.
You're out there running businesses
Yep.
in your wheelhouse and using your technology. And aren't you doing like $1.5 million in revenue or something like that? Like big numbers from that.
Big numbers. So in 2019 calendar year, roughly 6 million in revenue. In 2020 calendar year, we think we'll hit 15 to 20 million in revenue. And we think those numbers can double again in 2021. That's really not assuming that's really just from those e-com businesses. And roughly 30% of that number comes to the bottom line. So if we're generating 10 million in revenue, about 3 million is free cash flow. So if you think of a startup with new technology where we're investing in the tech, we're testing, we have early adopters, we have dozens of clients, but we don't have thousands of clients, right? Because it's still early days. And so we're using the cash flow from these e-com businesses to offset the burn of our tech business, which is really our main business. And in time, Jaden, we will likely spin off our e-com businesses as their own publicly traded, fully decked out with augmented reality, even likely virtual reality, and they'll trade as their own stock. And NexTech will be scaling its AR business because it'll be able to support itself, right? So once we get our cash flow on our tech business to the point where it's supporting itself, then the e-com business will likely be spun off, and that will be a dividend to shareholders, adding even more value to shareholders. So back to our kind of timeline, we're now in 2020, and we're signing up customers at a rapid rate. Today we announced 4 new customer wins. We're also about to launch a pivotal new technology that we think is going to change the augmented reality landscape forever. And that's something we started out calling Capture AR. We're changing the name to ARitize 360. That'll be the name of the app. But what it represents is, think of it like Netflix. It's a really good example. So, it used to be with movie rentals, right? You go to the store and you rent, a cassette. You take it home, and you had to go to the store to get it. Go to the store to return it. There was all these late penalties, and that was the beginning of the movie rentals. Blockbuster, ultimately went out of business because Netflix and Redbox kind of disrupted that business model by having the CDs mailed to you, right? So you would get it in your mailbox and then you'd mail it back. Well, fast forward, it's all now on demand streaming. Well, what happened? Well, technology happened. Broadband technology, where the pipe now is big enough where you could push a movie through the pipe and there's no latency or minimal latency, and it's on-demand movies. So how does that relate to NexTech? Real simple. today we have customers mailing us their products, meaning, shirts, sneakers. We just had some core samples from Romeo's Gold mailed to us. Rocks show up. And so think about that, right? You have product coming into our office. We're scanning it using our Capture AR technology in-house, and then product going back to the customer. It's kind of clunky. It's not really scalable. It works in the early days, but if you want to get to thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of products, it doesn't really work. So I tasked my team with creating an app that puts the power of the creation in the hands of everybody that has a smartphone. So in the next 30 days, we're launching our 1.0 version of this capture technology, which again is going to be an app called ARitize 360, formerly Capture AR. And it's going to allow you, Jaden, to take out your smartphone, everybody has one, and video a product using best practices. It should take 3 to 5 minutes. The video will then go into a content management system. You'll be able to view it, and ultimately it'll be a 3D AR asset that you'll be able to use. Again, back to Netflix, you didn't have to send us through the mail anything. It all happened in your studio or in your home, creating a frictionless environment, or minimal amount of friction, right? And the ability to scale. So think about the billions of devices that are out there. If everybody just scans one item, billions of products all of a sudden have now been ARitized. And then what are they going to do with it? Well, that's the real value for NexTech. It's not even the scan technology, which is super valuable in and of itself. It's that once you have this 3D AR asset, you could bring it to NexTech. We put it on our platform. You could use it for web AR, so product views. You could spin it, zoom it, see it in your room. Soon you'll be able to try it on. And then if you want to run a 3D AR ad, you can do that as well, using this asset that you created on our platform. And ultimately, Jaden, the plan is to get to a self-serve environment where there's no human interaction, where you literally log into our back end, you've created your 3D asset using our app, you load it into our platform, you get an embed code, you cut and paste it on your website, you now have web AR. That same asset is used on our 3D AR ad network. You log in, you run ads just like you do on Google, and off you go. So, that's the holy grail, where, we've now really created this end-to-end solution. And that's what makes NexTech super, super special and unique in the world of AR, is that nobody is creating an end-to-end solution. So that's kind of the summary of NexTech.
Exciting. So Evan, does that fit with your, I know we talked about once the technology comes with the glasses, right? Where people have glasses and you get a projection. Is that what your next step, the next iteration, or when?
So if you think about everything we've just talked about, it all works on the web, it works on your smartphone, but the next generation of spatial computing products are AR glasses, where you're going to put on a pair of regular glasses. I'm looking for a pair, but you're going to put on a pair of regular glasses. Yeah, you're wearing them, right? And you'll tap the side, tap, and you'll be able to see 3D objects in your field of vision hands-free. And then it'll be geolocation. So imagine you're walking by a restaurant, all of a sudden, whatever they're serving, whether it's, the latest and greatest vegan burger, dripping with vegan cheese on a gluten-free bun, you'll see that spinning around in 3D right in front of you. Your mouth will start to water. You'll all of a sudden get hungry, and you'll be like, I got to go in there and grab one of those. So, it's that, it's clothing, it's sneakers, the world is about to change in a very, very big way over the next decade. Just think about the world that existed before the iPhone, before smartphones. It was a very different world than, right now it's information on demand. Everything's on demand. You have this gig economy, and all of that is going to accelerate with augmented reality, the AR glasses, and NexTech is right at the intersection of all of that. We really are. We're standing right in front of this tidal wave of transformational technology, and we're actually pioneering a lot of the tech that is going to be used in this next wave.
That's exciting. So is a vertical where, are you keeping this close to home, this technology, or is it something that other companies can take advantage of? Have you priced that or figured that out in the business model, or how are you thinking about that?
Yeah, so we have what's called a plugin that allows some of our enterprise customers to create their own AR experiences in-house, and then, of course, use it on our platform. So we have opened it up to some of our customers to be able to create, if they have the capabilities in-house, they'd need a couple of Unity developers. And so if they have the capability, they could create some of the AR experiences. For us, the creation part isn't really the thing. It's really more the usage. So again, the 3D ad network, the web AR, we're pretty agnostic. If you bring us a 3D asset, and a lot of our enterprise customers are doing that. They already have CAD files, and they already have the 3D assets. So they bring that to us. We might have to modify it a little bit, but ultimately we want it to live on our platform, and that's really how we make our money. So, yeah.
Excellent. So it sounds like more and more customers coming on. Yeah, congratulations. I read the announcement today, 4 new customers in your is it web AR? Is that what they're signing up for?
It is. If you click on that press release, the NexTech lands 4 new web AR customers. Let's just go through it. The one next to that, yeah. So click on wall kicks. This is one of the customers. So they have these kind of giant size posters. See, there's a button there that says View in AR.
Yeah.
Click on that. So right now, because you're on a desktop, it's going to show up in 3D, but that's pretty cool as well. So there it is. So you could spin it and zoom it. That's the back of it. It's not, that's basically going to get mounted on the wall, and you'll be able to see it's basically art. But zoom in a little bit, because what's really important here is the photorealism. That is exactly what the product looks like. And so as a consumer, you're looking at this, normally you'd look at this through, just a photo carousel on a website, and you're not really sure if it's exactly what you're thinking it is, or, you're not sure what it is. And so this gives you an opportunity to get up close and personal, really see it. Oh, it's a piece of art. It goes on the back. Oh, it's got that sticker on the back. Oh, it's signed, and I get it. So now, one of the things that we don't talk about much is reduced returns. So when somebody buys a product like this, after they're able to see it, they're not going to return it because they know they're getting exactly what they saw, right? And so, returns are a $300 billion a year problem for e-commerce. And augmented reality and 3D product views really solve a lot of that problem. Let's X out of this real quick and go back to that press release. I want to show you another, go back to the press release itself. Yeah, there you go. Scroll down a little. Scroll down. There's a core sample. There we go. See Romeo's Gold. So click on the core sample. This is really cool. This is something brand new. It's a new vertical for us. Zoom in on that. So that's a core sample from a company that,
look at that.
Isn't that incredible?
Incredible.
So that's using our Capture AR technology.
Wow.
He sent us these rocks, the core sample, and we were able to create these 3D. And by the way, if you look at this on your phone, it'll be an AR. There won't be any background. It'll just be an AR experience. But photorealistic, if you're an investor in Romeo's Gold, you have to feel more comfortable, more confident with the company now because, hey, I saw a core sample. They're actually in, you can read the bottom. It says drill core sample 2019 gold discovery, Lundmark, ACAL, Lake Property, Northwest Ontario, part of a vein that assayed 8.6 grams per ton of gold over 4.75 meters. So you now have a clear picture of what you're investing in. Click out of that for a minute and go back to the press release. Yeah, so there's another gold, hit the gold resource. Yeah. So this is another sample. This isn't the core sample, but this is a rock, high-grade vein sample.
Wow. Oh, look at that. Unbelievable. It's like it's right in front of us, like
Yep.
you can just reach out and touch it. That is so incredible.
The photorealism and the quality is only going to actually get better. Like, this is really good.
Yeah.
It's going to get even better, as 8K and 12K cameras become more mainstream. But this was just created off of a regular iPhone, no special equipment other than our special technology that makes all the magic happen. But,
so this is someone holding the rock, taking a video of it, but your technology is eliminating the hold, or
no? So you would put it, so best practices are you put it in a light box, you've seen those light, and you put it on the turntable, and right, and you're holding a gimbal which is holding the phone, and it's spinning around, and you're able to capture. But part of the secret sauce is getting that bottom, right? Because if it's on a turntable.
How are you doing that? That's amazing.
Yeah, so stay tuned, Jaden.
Okay, I will.
Stay tuned. But the bottom line here is that you're looking at some really, really amazing technology. And this, we think, is going to be something, we're actually, Romeo's Gold invited us to PDAC, which is the largest mining conference, I think, in the world, or one of the biggest. And it's March, it's coming up the first week in March in Toronto, so it's in our backyard. Romeo's is going to introduce us to other gold companies. Other mining companies. We're going to show them what we've done with Romeo's, and we expect, that we'll land some more deals, because this is new. This is, and this, this doesn't cost millions of dollars to the mining company. This costs them, thousands of dollars. And so, for a couple of $1,000, all of a sudden, they now have a way to showcase to investors and stakeholders what it is that they're discovering, whether it's copper, gold, silver, anything, whatever.
it seems to me, Evan, this type of investment, like you say, in the thousands for any company among any industry, this could garner the largest ROI in terms of any marketing effort that they put in.
Yep.
I
Yep.
really are you thinking that as well? Like this is a
100%.
no-brainer? Yeah.
100%. It is, and that's why Romeo's did it. He's like, this is a no-brainer. In fact, he's an investor in NexTech.
Of course he is.
Right.
Because
I
he's
mean,
brilliant.
once you see the tech and he's using it and he's marketing, he's going to be running 3D ads using these 3D assets. Imagine seeing an ad with the rock spinning around, with Romeo's
Oh,
go.
yeah.
I mean, it's like
Huge.
yeah.
So, Evan, talk to us about your share float. I know you've got, 56 million shares outstanding.
Yeah, I think it's
48.
60 after our last financing. It's up to 60.
Okay, so 60 outstanding, and then how many in the float now?
There's about 25 in the float.
Oh, okay. So is that because the majority, the large shareholders are you and your friends who aren't
Yep.
selling? Like you haven't sold a share, right? Is that what you
No. In fact, I just bought more. I literally, there's a CDI filing. I just put another $50,000 US, which is like 75 Canadian, and bought stock in the open market. I take all my salary in NexTech stock, as does the president, as does the CFO of NexTech. We are fully invested, not selling. And the idea here is that, my goal is to build $1 billion public company. I mean, that's what I've stated a number of times. And I think we're closer than ever to achieving that goal. Not that our market cap is reflecting it, because we've been beat up a bit by coronavirus, and then just bad timing. It was kind of a 1-2 punch. We had the short seller, and then coronavirus came in and has done some more damage.
I like where you're headed. That's a $40 a share price for your stock. Then $1 billion at 25 million shares outstanding. That's not bad.
Well, no, the float's 25. Remember, we have 60 million.
Yes. Okay. I'll rework the numbers there.
Yeah.
So figure $25 a share. That's still
I figure it's $20. If I could see a $20 stock, I'll have a big smile on my face.
I'll bet. I'll bet. So that's kind of my next question. Like, what's the end game for you? I know it's the spinning off as a dividend some of the other components of the company, but what else do you really see? I mean, do you think you'll be bought out, or like what do you think?
Yeah. So in my mind, as these, so we have multiple business segments, right? So they all work off of our AR technology, but you have the e-com businesses, which could be spun off. We have our 3D AR ad network, which again, if it starts to scale like we think it will, could be spun off as its own standalone public company. The web AR business, same kind of thing. So at the end of the day, NexTech could be generating revenue off of its spin-offs that licenses its technology, and NexTech really becomes more of an R&D operation. So that could happen. I'm not saying it's definitive, but I'm saying that it's certainly conversations that we've had at high levels.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So what would that mean for your role in the company? Would you shift your role or just stay CEO?
I mean, it's a good question. I mean, I'm generally I'm the startup guy. I'm the guy that gets it going, and I have the vision, able to build the team, and it really is all about the team. Our team's incredible. We have almost 30 employees now, spread out between Dallas, California, and Toronto. And so I guess my role is to build the company, get it on track, make sure that our company is scaling, all the divisions are cranking. Once that's done, it's really more of an operator's job to keep those businesses scaling and growing. And so, I could see over time as the business starts to scale and get bigger and bigger, that my role gets smaller and smaller, and maybe move to chairman of the board type of activity.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. And, I really like your response, because there's so many founders and CEOs who cling on to that with dear life of that role. And they don't, and they fight until the board says, get out, just be chairman of the board. Let us,
Right.
let us rock and roll this thing. Right. So
Yeah. So that's not me. My ego is not caught up in this. This is, I understand what it is that I'm good at, and I'm playing to my strength. And then once it gets to the point where, someone else's strength will exceed mine, then they need to step into that position. So I understand that it's a critical piece of this. We're not going to get to $1 billion company if it's just me. So I get that.
Yeah, good awareness. That's awesome. All right, my friend. So in closing, what's any parting words that you want to share about the company and
Yeah. So I would just say that, I've been in the investment field for 30 years. And going back to, the Gulf War in 1990, I remember when the world was being told that, Saddam Hussein was going to set fire to the Kuwaiti oil fields. I don't know if you remember that. It's going to be dark cloud covering the planet, ash. We're going back to the Stone Ages, and lots of fear, and the market was tanking, but didn't happen, right? So the market recovered. I remember in 1998, the Asian contagion. It was a very quick. You had long-term capital kind of go bust, and a couple of hedge funds imploded, but the market recovered. And I remember 9/11, which was very dramatic. I was living in Manhattan. I owned 3 apartments at the time. Because I was on the front line, I sold my 3 apartments. I was just very emotionally upset and distraught, and I thought it was like the end of the world. It really felt like that. World Trade Centers, it was smoldering for weeks and months. I'd drive into the city, drive out, and you'd see plumes of smoke from Wall Street, and so it looked like the world was on fire. Yeah. That was a bad decision. I made a emotional decision to sell my real estate in Manhattan, 3 apartments, and shouldn't have done that. Learned my lesson from that. You have to keep learning. So you had the financial crisis in 2007 and 8. Market went down 50%. Bird flu, SARS, Ebola. There's a lot of these exogenous events that just crop up out of nowhere. Some people call them, black swan events. But the takeaway here is we always come back. They are temporary, and they're painful, and they're scary, and they stir up all of our fear and emotion as humans. It's just, we're susceptible to that. My best advice for investors, which, NexTech, you're invested in NexTech, but, I'm sure you have a portfolio of stock, is to sit on your hands. Do not do the thing that I did in, selling my apartments in Manhattan after 9/11. It seemed like a smart move because I thought we were going to get hit again. It wasn't a smart move. When you look at your stock portfolio today, you might be thinking, I got to get out before the pandemic gets worse, before I lose more money. My suggestion is sit on your hands. Don't sell into the panic. Don't let the fear take over. The coronavirus shall pass as well, just like everything else that I've mentioned. And so that's my kind of parting words.
Solid advice. Thank you for that. I've always said the market can always climb a wall of worry.
Yep.
It's whenever there's a capitulation, everyone's like, "Oh, the market's going to 100,000." That's when we have to be really afraid, you know.
Right.
But
Right. The
so, are
euphoria.
you? What's
Yeah.
that?
Be scared. You're talking Buffett speak, right? Be
Yeah,
fearful when everybody's greedy. Be greedy when everybody's fearful.
that's it. I've got a open limit order to buy some more of your shares on my account today, so I'm hoping I get that execution. We'll see.
Yep.
But thank you, Evan. Thank you for your time. Congratulations on your success. I'm absolutely loving everything you're doing at the company, and I'm enjoying watching this stock. The ups and the downs, like it doesn't affect me because for me, it's a long-term play, especially after getting to know you and talking with you. And I think as a shareholder, we're going to be rewarded with that philosophy of just keeping long-term, buying on the dips, right? And just hanging
Yep.
in there with it.
Buy low, sell high. Don't buy high, sell low. Don't let your emotions take over. And Jaden, I want to thank you for your support and your vote of confidence. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, my friend. Looking forward to many more conversations with you. Thank you for your time, Evan. If you're interested in learning more about how to easily find winning stocks, please check out our sterlingstockpicker.com. We have amazing tools for you, such as our Stock Rocket section, as well as our Portfolio Builder. So if you are a short-term trader or a long-term buy-and holder, you're going to find amazing companies with our Sterling Stock Picker. Please visit sterlingstockpicker.com for our free 21-day trial.